Hey guys, it's been a while. I want to talk about this story, which is all over the news, all over your feeds right now. Really important story, really important study. Let's talk about it. So we've been talking about Ozempic or Wegovy, which basically are the same thing, a molecule called semaglutide, which very effectively helps people to lose weight. What's important here, though, is this is the first randomized controlled trial of any weight loss drug, which is able to show that that drug actually improves cardiovascular outcomes. And this is why this is such a big deal. We know that being overweight or obese is associated with a lot of negative health outcomes, not only mental health effects, but physical effects like high blood pressure, diabetes, the effects of that, including strokes and heart attacks, things like sleep apnea, higher cancer risk, effects on joints, and the list goes on and on. We also know from other studies that significant effective weight loss improves some of those outcomes. Your diabetes can go away, your asthma can go away, your joints feel better, all sorts of things improve. What we haven't known is whether these weight loss drugs like Wegovy, which very effectively help you to lose weight, actually improve any of those so-called hard health outcomes. Do they actually improve any of those health conditions? And that's why this trial is so important. So they took over 17,500 people. They randomly assigned about half of them to get the drug, which is a once-weekly shot of Wegovy, and the other half to get a placebo. These are people 45 and over who didn't have diabetes, but they did have cardiovascular disease. So they're at a higher risk of having another cardiovascular event. And what they did in this trial is they followed them out for 5 years to see if they would have one of 3 cardiovascular events. So heart attack, stroke, or dying of heart attack or stroke. And what they're telling us they have found, and again, we need to see the final published results, but what they're telling us is that there was a 20% relative risk reduction of having one of those 3 things if you were on the drug compared to placebo. And apparently each of those 3 things also improved. So less strokes, less heart attacks, and less chance of dying from heart attack or stroke. Why this is so important is that you keep seeing TikToks about people being frustrated by the fact that these drugs are not covered yet by most insurers and government health plans. And it's one thing for those folks to sort of say, we're not going to pay for a very expensive drug to help you to lose weight. It's an entirely other thing for them to say that we're not going to pay for a drug that effectively reduces your chances of having a heart attack or a stroke or dying of one of those cardiovascular events. So in people at least at high risk, I think this will be a very compelling piece of evidence to move the needle on getting coverage from governments and insurers. And hopefully we'll see more studies like this and eventually be able to make the case that there's a cost effectiveness to actually using these drugs in terms of the kinds of medical events that we can help protect people from.